Hey strong people, Kalle Beck here from StartingStrongman.com. This episode of Strong Talk is brought to you by Cerberus Strength. Go to Cerberus-strength.com for all of your strongman gear. Some of my favorites are their figure 8 straps and their red extreme elbow sleeves. I'm about to go log press with my new log and throw those on to try to hit a little PR. Anyways, what an exciting weekend for strongman. We had Britain's Strongest Man and Arnold Strongman Classic, or Arnold Strongman USA. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Britain's Strongest Man. Go to my channel. Either the next day, I'm going to talk about the Arnold Strongman USA. So be sure to hit subscribe and make sure you get all the upcoming content. Britain's Strongest Man is a very interesting event in that it's just a national title. And national titles are a big deal in a lot of countries, but none is a bigger event than Britain's Strongest Man. And there's a lot that goes into that. Giants Live, Colin Bryce, Darren Sadler, everyone over there have done an amazing job with their promotion and getting in bigger and bigger venues with all of their shows, and they just need more shows. And they're shown on Channel 5, which is like regular TV over there, all throughout the year, same time as Worlds, all these different events. So it helps. That's big advertising for this event in particular, and for all of the British athletes. So this year, the big news is that the winner of the last 5 years, Eddie Hall, has now completely retired from strongman and has a bunch of other projects going on, which I will get to in a future video, including whatever that show that him, Robert Oberst, Brian Shaw, and Nick Best seem to be filming. Just give you some insight on what I think is going on with that. So he's gone, and it's wide open. And the events are pretty similar to last year. The lineup's pretty similar. You have a lot of up-and-coming British athletes, such as like Adam Bishop, the Stoltman brothers, and then you have the old guard that have been around forever and are staples in the strongman scene, like Lawrence Shaw, Terry Hollins, Mark Felix, and a big mix of in-between people that are just been around but trying to make that next step. So it's like, it's going to be is it going to be someone from the old guard is going to keep at the top, or is the new people going to start to push? Like Bishop, Stoltman's, Graham Hicks. I wouldn't call Graham very new, but he's definitely always like a little behind at like the international level compared to some of the other names. Hasn't made the finals at Worlds, but very talented. In my preview video, I went back and forth on who I want to pick, and it's going to sound completely made up, but I kept saying Graham Hicks is the smart bet. But in my mind, I just went through the events, and I kind of fanboyed for a little bit and got wrapped up, and I picked Terry Hollins. I don't regret that at all, but Graham Hicks was the smart bet. He got second last year. The person who got first isn't there. Just kind of makes sense, similar events, that he's going to get first overall, and he did. Started off with the log press, a fairly light log for an international show, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It was 150 kilos, which is 330-ish pounds. You have to clean each rep. It's also a wooden log, which is generally a little bit harder to clean. And pretty much most everyone kind of got stuck with 6. One of the big stories here, which ended up being big in the thing, is that Adam Bishop, it looked like he was just rushing it. He got his timing off, something with his breathing. I think he's a lot stronger than he showed with his 4 reps he got, but he started to black out, and then once that happens in a log for reps, you really can't recover. And then, a couple got like 7. Chalet tied with 6. Who was it? I think it was it Steele who got 7? There, a couple in there. And the other big story here was that I always forget, Luke Stoltman, the older one. I mix them up, but that's fair because the announcer mixed them up in the event too. Looked so solid with this weight. He looked the most solid and methodical. He definitely He had great conditioning in the event, and his feet didn't move at all. He didn't shake, and he banged out 8 reps. Graham, who's I'd say the best log presser of the bunch, also got 8, but he was kind of a little more over the place. Getting more than 8 in 60 seconds where you have to clean each is a tall task. You'd have to be one motion on them to do that, and didn't look like anyone was able to do that, had the conditioning and pace to be able to do that on the day. So they ended up with a tie with Tom Stoltman and Hicks after the first event, and Bishop and Hollins only got 3 points in the event. There's 13 people overall, and that's something I didn't factor in, that there was 13 overall competitors, so that's going to lose a lot of points if you're going to be lower on the log. But it looked like, I think 3 was good for him. Then going into the next event, the frame carry, Lawrence Chalet had the current world record in that event, and we saw a lot of which is I think in the 9-ish seconds it was, or low 10s. And then it seemed like everyone was doing it in 10 seconds. It was 400 kilos, which is 880 pounds, with straps, which makes a big difference as far as who's going to do well. Because by then it's all foot speed. Both the Stoltmans really, they messed this event up. They made mistakes. And it looked like they grabbed too far back on the frame. And it's really hard because if you look in the inside of those big timber frames, there's a long handle, and you just have to have the balance down 100%, or you're screwed. And they got screwed. Tom, more so. I mean, he got he got dead last in the event, and I don't think he's the slowest person there. That's just mistakes. And at contests like this, it isn't necessarily the strongest person who's going to win. It's who doesn't make any mistakes, or the least amount of mistakes. That's the same as most sports, like American football. I saw there's like six or so guys that could have won this, and who ended up winning was the guy who didn't make any mistakes on the day, Graham Hicks. So Stoltman did that, and then his big brother did the same thing. And Adam Bishop and Terry Hollins were this close, and just Bishop made Hollins look slow, but Hollins still ended up taking second in the event, and Bishop got first. Paul Smith had a really good run. Hicks even just had a great run. I think he got, third? He actually beat, he beat Charlotte. He got, third. Bishop got first, and Hollins got second. Who got, anyways, hard to look over all this. But, by Hollins and et cetera getting in between Charlotte kind of pushed him further down. And by then you had, someone who messed up the first event in Adam Bishop, who only got 5 points, then winning the second. Going into the deadlift, Graham had a huge lead, I think 6 points. That's pretty hard amount of points for someone to surpass. So he's pretty much at that point has to make a mistake. He can lose a point or two to Bishop or whoever, in each of the next 3 events and still come out on top. And that's pretty much what happened is, then going into the deadlift, Bishop just went on a tear and won it, I think with 12 reps. Mark Felix still showed if the weight is in the right range, it's not too heavy, it's not closer to 400 kilos, it's in the lower 300 kilo range, 700-ish pounds. I think this was 320. He can out-rep just about anyone in the world. He pulled 11 reps for second place, or tied for second place. No, he got, second, and Graham Hicks got third with 10, and then there was a bunch around 8 or 9. So Bishop picked up 2 points on him there, narrowing the gap to about 4 points. And then in the loading race, which I have to admit, I didn't watch this event. I had real world stuff to do. But last year, Terry Hollins just edged out Adam Bishop in this race. And from what I heard is both the Stoltmans just absolutely crushed it, with Tom getting first and Luke second in the event, with Hollins again doing very well, getting third, Bishop fourth, Hicks looks like fifth, so picking up another 2 points, making the gap 2 points going into the Atlas Stones. So has to get. So then it really was between Hicks and Bishop. Tom Stoltman just lost too many points in the frame carry to be a contender for the overall title. But Lawrence Chalet, I think, was in third at this point, just being very consistent throughout the day. And both the Stoltmans were right behind there, and they absolutely demolished it. Tom won the event with Bishop getting second, and Hicks third in the event, making Graham Hicks winning his first Britain's Strongest Man title. Well deserved. One of the hardest working athletes in the sport. And Adam Bishop just 1.5 points behind, so Hicks would have had to get be 3 spots below Bishop in order to do that. And the Stoltmans coming on strong at the end to then be getting third and fourth, followed by Big Laws in fifth, Hall in sixth, Paul Smith seventh, Mark Felix eighth, who said he is retiring from Britain's Strongest Man competitions. I wonder if that means he's retiring overall, because as far as shows, it seems like Britain's Strongest Man is somewhere he's absolutely loved, and still, other than, he zeroed the log, and that's not really improving I don't think that's ever going to get better for him. Still has some good events, so he could pretty much do this probably until he's 80, and people would still be happy to see him there. But I think he's, 54, 52 at this point? Somewhere in there. Doesn't really matter. Age doesn't seem to matter for Mark Felix, but he says he's retiring from Britain's Strongest Man. Hopefully he's still doing some sort of other contests, but if he's retiring from that, I would think that he's probably retiring overall. I think his first Worlds was in 2004 at the Bahamas, and just been one of the most popular strongman in the sport. Since then, just defies logic. How he deadlifts, how he's able to just keep improving, doesn't really ever seem to get very hurt. So if it is a retirement, an absolute great career for Mark Felix. Just think if either or both of the Stoltmans didn't absolutely butcher the frame, they probably could have been 1 and 2 in the event. Same for Bishop. If he didn't make a mistake in the log, probably could have won overall. But that's strongman, and that's why I can make preview videos and predictions, and none of it matters, because it matters who performs on the day. And who performed the best was Graham Hicks, and he won as the strongest and best strongman on the day. And congrats to Graham Hicks. Absolutely incredible event put on by Giants Live, and they're already selling tickets for 2020. And that is exactly why they're doing so well with their live shows over there. Because something that the UFC does with their promotion is at UFC 212, they're promoting 216, they're promoting 230, and that's what Giants Live is doing now, is they're promoting 2020 already. You can buy tickets for this same show already, and that's something in the United States for promoters need to realize is the best time to promote your next event is at your current event. Everyone's excited. They loved it. They're going to go spend their money, buy tickets for next year. Something promoters and all of us need to realize and copy from who's doing it successfully. And no one is putting on bigger shows as far as just it's a show. I'm not saying it's the biggest test of strength. Weights are a little lighter than like some of the Arnolds and stuff, but it's a show. There's pyrotechnics, there's big announcers, it's a stadium, that they hold, it's an arena that they hold, big concerts at and stuff. And it's great. And it's a great time to be involved in strongman. I'm Kalle Beck. Thanks for watching. You can follow me at Let Kalle Lift across social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and follow at Starting Strongman. You can subscribe to the audio version of this. Just search for the Strong Talk podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe and give me your thoughts on the day in the comments below. I always like to interact with the fans here on YouTube. And, of course, go to startingstrongman.com for all of your strongman news and information, and store.startingstrongman.com for all of your strongman training needs.